Hey there, welcome to the latest episode of Maniac Reddeyvils. Now, in the last few episodes, you have seen me discussing match previews, match reactions, and reactions to the manager's press conference. But this episode is going to be altogether different, and it's regarding one of the hot topics in world football at this moment, the European Super League. Now, anyone who is not living under a rock and follows football even slightly would have heard about the European Super League and must be wondering what the hell is going on. Let me just start by saying what this European Super League is actually. Now, 12 of the premier clubs in European club competition have decided to form a new competition that would rival the UEFA Champions League and would be held every midweek and would be a competition between top 20 of Europe's premier clubs. Now, which are the clubs involved in this? There are 12 founding clubs involved in this, which include our own club, Manchester United. And the sad part is that they are not only just a part of it, they are one of the pioneer members of this latest development in European football. The other clubs include Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, Hotspur, Chelsea, and a few of the Spanish clubs like Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, and Barcelona. The other three clubs are from Italy, and it's the Milan clubs, AC and Inter, and Juventus as well. So what they have proposed is a new club competition for 20 teams, which would include 15 founder members and 5 other annual qualifiers. And of these 15 founder members, 12 I have already mentioned. There are also speculations as to who the other 3 members are going to be. Now, they were initially speculated that Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, and the French champions PSG would be the other 3 members of this competition, but recently they have come out in the open and denied any links of their club to this rebel football competition. Now, what is the need for such a competition? Let's just start by what the clubs have to say on this. These founder clubs are actually saying that the global pandemic has caused such an instability in the already weak European football model that they have to think of an alternative that would help them sustain for a longer period. I would, however, like to disagree with this. I think this pandemic and this situation and the global situation, we are in the midst of a global pandemic. This is least expected of any of the big football clubs to be announcing such a rebel football league in this time, and this global pandemic situation has actually given them an excuse against this beautiful game of its own financial development in their own favor, actually in favor of improving the quality and intensity of the premier European club competition, and which would basically mean more matches and maybe more money in their favor. Now, I agree with the part that the club competition needed to evolve slightly or for the better over the years, but that doesn't mean that necessarily mean that you have to add more matches, and matches would only mean more revenue generated to the clubs. This is the only purpose of creating a format that would increase the number of teams. And the timing of this is a bit shocking because the announcement came just 24 hours prior to the UEFA body meeting, which was about to discuss the reforms and rejuvenation of the Champions League. The reforms discussed in this meeting was actually extending the club competition from a 24 team to a 36 team format. This would mean more matches and so more money to the club owners, which they had wanted initially. And this means that the UEFA had already caved into the pressure of these club owners, which are central to this idea, or this founding clubs, this 12 founding clubs which are central to this idea. Now, another thing that UEFA have also discussed uh, around the reform of this club competition is the additional four qualification spots for clubs based on their history in the competition. Now, this for me is absolutely ridiculous. You can only compete in a club competition based on your merit and not because of your past history. And if you're good enough and if you consider to be an European elite, you can easily qualify for the Champions League by finishing in the top echelons of your own domestic league. This is pretty simple as that. Why do we have to depend on history? And I don't even know what history has got to do with a club like Manchester City. They were not even part of the European elite before the Shakis took them over. Say, for example, a club like Tottenham Hotspur. What's the reason behind participating in this new league? They haven't even won anything in the last 20 years except for maybe a Carling Cup. Look at Arsenal. What have they won over the last 10 years? They're merely happy if they get to barely qualify for the Europa League. Same goes for AC Milan. The Manchester United owners, they are happy if their team can huff and puff to qualify for the Champions League. Because a Champions League run, a decent enough run in the Champions League would mean around an additional 40 to 80 million pounds for their club owners. Now add to this the money coming from the TV rights as well. So there's absolutely no point in taking advantage of history justify the idea of this new European Super League. Now let's just go into the format of this league. This is basically a 20 club format divided into two groups of 10 each, and the top four teams from each group would go into the next stage and play each other on knockout basis, which would be ended by a final championship match. Now, one thing that I am fairly critical of the format of this tournament is that at all times the 15 founding members or 15 founding clubs would be guaranteed a place in this competition, and there would only be 5 spots available to annual qualifiers based on their footballing merits. Now, this is an absolute joke, because Arsenal for the last 10 years just barely qualify for the Europa League, which is not even the premier club competition in Europe. Tottenham, they hit and miss. Manchester United even have not qualified for all the past 10 seasons in this tournament. AC Milan, they don't play the Champions League anymore. They barely qualify for the Europa League. So what's the logic behind this getting these teams together? There's absolutely no point, and this is an absolute bloody joke. You would have already understood from what I've said that this is going to be a cash-rich competition. So where's the finance coming from? The finance, league is being financed by JP Morgan Bank from the US, who have committed for an initial investment of around $3.5 billion. Now, another interesting thing with JP Morgan is that Ed Woodward, the Manchester United vice president, he used to work in JP Morgan, and he had actually advised the Glazers in buying Manchester United, and which they had obliged. And after they had bought the club, they have made Edward one of their first acquisitions. So you can see where this is all is coming from. Obviously, UEFA and FIFA have reacted quite strongly to this, because they are like, if you have to execute a terrible plan, why would it be anyone else other than them? So the next players alike have come out in the open and criticized the formation of this league. UEFA and the Premier League and all the football associations have been very open about it, that they are looking forward to banning these clubs, or even the players of these clubs, if decide to take part in this competition. money-making vultures hovering over this European football scenario, which are engulfed by bankers, the oligarchs and princes, who are the self-proclaimed messiahs of world football at this moment. So football is in danger at this moment in the hands of this wealthy bankers who know nothing about football. So it's on this sad note that I would like to end this episode. Do let us know if you have liked this episode, and anything else if you need to know about the European Super League. I would like to do my best to find out more about this league. Please do subscribe to our channel, do like our videos and share it with your friends. That's it for today. Thank you.